We have a brand new New York Yankees trade report as we are going to be looking at poaching Rays infielder Brandon Lowe. We're going to be breaking down everything that we have so far related to this article, related to this trade. After the holiday swing of things, the Yankees are getting back into the market. We're going to be breaking down this entire trade report and what we have here, why this is actually a perfect fit for the New York Yankees. Now, before we get into all of this news here, we know 75% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your New York Yankees news, you are in the right spot. Hit the sub button. Join us here on the channel. We are covering everything New York Yankees. As I mentioned, now we are out of the holiday break. The Yankees are looking to actively get back into this market and add some more pieces. Now, as you've seen from my last video, I made a video about the Yankees running out of money, but this report contradicts all of that, and the Yankees acquiring a second baseman from the Tampa Bay Rays. And I'll be breaking down right now what this article is, going over this, and do we have a New York Yankees trade incoming once again? And it sure does seem like this is going to be the perfect move for the Yankees to make it, at least what their next one is planning on being. And it also kind of aligns with what I had to say about the Yankees running out of money, and it seems crazy to me, but you never really know. And let's move on to our first screenshot here, going over what we have here. If the Yankees are inclined to go to the trade route, more options might be open. The ideal candidate to fill second base will be Brandon Lowe from the Tampa Bay Rays, who's under contract for $10.5 million in 2025 and has a club option for 2026. Now, Brandon Lowe is a great option once again from the Tampa Bay Rays, a second baseman who can really kind of move all over the infield, has played in the outfield as well, and that's something that we've seen the Yankees really like to have in recent years, and especially now in this offseason, that's really a trend that it seems like the Yankees are going with. Paul Goldschmidt locking down that first base, but also giving him the option to be able to sit out of the lineup here or there, maybe DH a game if need be by having Cody Bellinger move to first, by really having any other option that they can choose to, and same goes with Jazz Chisholm. Currently on second base, was on third, can play center field. It just gives the Yankees so much freedom in a 162-game season to be able to work around some issues they may have here or there. But Brandon Lowe, second base, really is his bread and butter position. He's used to playing there, played there for the Rays for such a long time. He's also played first base and the outfield, but he is primarily a second baseman, and one that is good on very much both sides of the ball. I did want to pull up our second screenshot here, going over his average, looking at the offensive side of things for him. And last season, Brandon Lowe, we don't really think about a guy who has too much power, but the past two seasons, 21 home runs, 8 the year before, but only 65 games played in that 2022 season. Going into 2021, what a season that was. Looking back at what we have, going over 39 home runs, 247 average, and has pretty much floated around that area, stayed pretty consistent with that. Although his OPS has been an absolutely very hidden stat in those middle of seasons of 2020, 2021, and still being able to continue that now at 30 years old, going on 31, being a second baseman. We know second basemen really aren't known for their power, and having this mixture of both good on-ball contact offense while having power and a left-handed hitter, let's not forget, in Yankee Stadium is something the Yankees really cannot pass looking up on. And we know Brandon Lowe, he's getting older, he's been dealing with injuries in the past, as you see, and looking at his games played over the past few seasons, 107, 109, 65. The past 3 seasons really has not gotten a full 160, or let's just say 150-plus game season in his career. Most he's played is 149, which is a pretty concerning thing for the Yankees. However, with 1 year left on his deal and then a club option, it does give the Yankees a bit of freedom, but I'll show you why in a minute. This trade may get a bit iffy in some instances, what we're looking at for Brandon Lowe. But I do want to move on as well to his fielding stats. I did mention he can kind of play all around the field. Played left, played right, played first, played second. Although we don't see him mostly have that success at second base. Now, a -8 DRS in 7 years, that's totally fine. Of course, you see him playing injured a lot. You see him having not a whole lot of games to be able to kind of put under his belt for the DRS, but DRS isn't everything. There's a whole different section of being the reaction time, fielding, your range factor, everything like that will also go into it. So even though the DRS is -8 in 7 years in second base, could be a lot worse. We've been able to see a lot worse, although Brandon Lowe is certainly someone that is interesting on second base, regardless of how good his fielding is. Although we have to think, that's one thing the Yankees are thinking of, is that fielding aspect, the fielding factor. Is he going to be good enough to be able to stay there in the hopefully 162 games of a season or around that, especially with injuries and everything really being prominent for his career, and hasn't really had that consistent of a season in quite some time on the game sense of things. Still very good in this time he's healthy, but that is the main idea that we really have to cross that bridge for. Going on, once again, to what we're looking at as well. Brandon Lowe, 39, has struggled to stay on the not 39, he's not 39 years old, but has struggled to stay on the field over the last 3 seasons, but when healthy, he's produced at every turn. He owns an 808 OPS, a 126 OPS plus since the start of the 2020 season, including a 39 homer season during the 2021 All-Star campaign. I believe he's also voted 8th for the MVP voting in that year for the AL, so once again, some pretty good stats coming out of him there, but although it does say 39, he is not 39, going on, as I mentioned earlier, still pretty young, just a few injuries in his career. But looking at Brandon Lowe as a potential option for the New York Yankees, he would be cheap enough to obviously get. And going back to that video I made where we're saying the Yankees don't have enough money, they can't really go out and acquire one of these big names. They certainly cannot really afford to go out and acquire any of these big names, although there is no salary cap. The luxury tax and everything can become a very big problem. So Brandon Lowe being able to have this 1 year left on the remaining contract, followed by the club option, gives him the freedom to be able to kind of go out, work the market for 2 years, and then make a replacement for Brandon Lowe if he doesn't work out. But you never know. He may stay healthy with the Yankees, may be able to turn kind of his game side of things around, keep that high number of games, while also consistently hitting and consistently fielding. This could be a very sneaky trade for the New York Yankees, and one that a lot of people may entertain. The Yankees have been involved in, acquiring second basemen. The Rays are looking to try to get rid of Brandon Lowe, and it will really all depend on what kind of value the Rays want back. And this is where this going gets a bit problematic for the New York Yankees. And I did want to pull up right now a potential trade that is going down for this, or a reported trade that would work out for both sides. And this is what this article poses as this option. Here's one potential trade package for the Rays that could help the Yankees land Lowe. The Yankees receive, obviously, second baseman Brandon Lowe. The Rays receive right-handed pitcher Ben Ness, the first-round pick from most recent draft, the number 8 overall prospect in the Yankee system, and then second and third base, York Vivas, the number 17 overall prospect in the Yankee system. Hess was a first-rounder selected in the 2024 draft, a former University of Alabama fireballer who would be ideal Rays pitching lab prospect. Meanwhile, Vivas' great hitting tool could fit the Tampa Bay team identity of positionally versatility. It's not a huge package to give up for the Yankees on the surface, but the Rays are getting a kind of guys in their organization that always seem to have success in Tampa Bay. This deal could be a win-win. Now, I would really be okay including Vivas in this deal. However, I am very high on Ben Hess. I do believe that he has a lot more potential than what people are giving him, and I think that he deserves a lot more credit than what he's been given so far in his, short Yankees tenure, I want to say. So there is a lot of risk in this side of things, especially for Brandon Lowe, who hasn't been healthy. You're really banking on him being able to stay healthy, and ultimately, it's a big risk for giving up specifically Ben Hess and York Vivas in this specific deal. But, of course, this is just a report. This is just from this article. It doesn't mean that these two are going. However, this is kind of an outline of what we need to see to be able to acquire Brandon Lowe in such a deal. So, let me know what you think about all of this here. What do you think about Brandon Lowe as a potential Yankee second base option? But that's all I got in this video. Let me know what you think. Obviously, some big stuff going down for the Yankees, hopefully, over the next few days. But as I mentioned, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.